The best Junji Ito is scary, but it's also funny, absurd, surreal, disturbing, unsettling, gross, nightmarish, fascinating, and unforgettable. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In this video, we're going to look at some highlights from Shiver, a collection of his short stories and what I think makes them so great. This video has some spoilers, but I will try to keep them vague. One of the strengths of Shiver is that it gives us a taste of Ito's range. All of these stories were originally published separately in magazines, some adapted from other creators' work, others Ito originals. They've been collected and curated here by Ito himself for this English language edition, which came out earlier this year. In an afterword, he writes, "When I was selecting the stories for this collection, I chose ones that I thought were easy to read as standalone pieces." So this isn't meant to be a comprehensive survey of Ito's output, but rather an introduction to the kind of work he's done over the years. There are 7 stories in Shiver. Some of my favorites are Hanging Balloon, Greased, and The Enigma of Amigawashin. Of those, Hanging Balloon and Greased have one thing in common. They both feature characters who are children or children at heart. The opening story, Hanging Balloon, is about a young boy named Hiroshi, who becomes fascinated with a balloon that's tethered to a nearby building. Every time he passes by, he looks up at it, wondering what it would feel like if it popped. Then one day he brings a pin with him so he can do just that. But once he gets closer, he realizes the balloon isn't quite what he thought it was. It's covered in flesh and teeth. Ito uses the mundane details of daily life to great effect in this story, like how the balloon cells are made of metal, so they jangle when you walk past them. And the little pinprick of a hole that lets the air out of the balloon is described as looking like a red dot on an LCD screen. It's a simple premise with a genuinely creepy execution. Something I really like about Ito's work is how he takes everyday objects and infuses them with a sense of dread. In Greased, a man becomes obsessed with the grease trap under his kitchen sink. He thinks it might be sentient, and it seems to grow and move on its own. The protagonist tries to get rid of it by flushing it down the toilet, but it just keeps coming back. It's hard not to read this story without thinking of something like a parasitic infection growing inside your body, turning you from the inside out. The image of grease literally dripping from the sink is both disgusting and disturbing, and I love the way Ito builds suspense through pacing. These are short stories, but he still knows how to make you wait for the scare. Take, for example, the image of the greasy creature emerging from the drain. We know it's coming, but the anticipation makes it all the more effective when it finally appears. Another strength of Shiver's is that it gives us a taste of Ito's range. Both Hanging Balloon and Greased are unsettling, but they're also kind of funny in a dark way. It's a perfect encapsulation of Ito's style. He mixes the absurd with the disturbing, often taking things to their logical extreme to highlight their inherent ridiculousness. A balloon made of human flesh is absurd. Therefore, it's scary. Grease coming alive and attacking you is absurd. Therefore, it's terrifying. Many of Ito's stories deal with things that scare us as children, like balloons or dolls, or with things that induce bodily anxiety, like grease or blood. In The Enigma of Amigawashin, a girl named Michiko receives a mysterious package in the mail, something she didn't order. When she opens it, she finds a doll. She doesn't want it, so she throws it away. But then she sees it again on her street, sitting on a stoop like a scarecrow, except it's facing the wrong way. Dolls are obviously a major theme in Junji Ito's work, appearing in many of his most famous stories. And I think there's something about them that's particularly unnerving. Unlike the other things I mentioned, they're usually inanimate objects. They don't move or speak unless you animate them. And yet, they seem to take on a life of their own in Ito's stories, creeping into your dreams and blurring the line between reality and nightmare. The stories in Shiver are shorter than Ito's longer works like Uzumaki or The Enigma of Amigawashin. but they still have the same pacing, the same buildup of suspense and dread. Reading them feels like being on a roller coaster. Lots of twists and turns, lots of ups and downs, but always moving forward towards something inevitable. And that's what makes Junji Ito such a master of horror. He knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat. His stories are like a slow burn, but the flame is always there, flickering in the darkness, waiting to ignite. If you're new to Ito's work, collections like Shiver are a great place to start. They're more accessible than his longer, more complex narratives, and they give you a taste of what makes him one of the best horror manga artists working today.